All right, so in this video, we're going to look at the nucleus of the cell. It's only two slides from the PowerPoints that we have here at Horry Georgetown Tech that we use, slide 31 and 32. Again, it's general information. It's not, if you're not using Hull's 16th edition or whatever, it's all right if you're watching this somewhere else. But for us, this is the fourth video of this chapter. We are, again, looking at the nucleus of the cell. So we've looked at in previous videos from this chapter, we've looked at the composite cell in the three parts, the nucleus, which we are looking at in this chapter. We looked at, or in this video, we looked at the cytoplasm in a previous video, talking about the liquid, which we call cytosol, and the different organelles. And then even earlier than that, we looked at a video that talked about the plasma membrane, this phospholipid bilayer membrane, the selectively permeable, and some of the things that go on with it. So in this, we're just looking at the nucleus. So the nucleus is really a special area. It is the genetic material and controls the cell activities. A lot of times people would consider it the brain of the cell. But it is going to have a very special boundary. It has what's called a nuclear envelope. And it is actually, we talked about how the cell membrane is a phospholipid bilayer. Well, this is a biphospholipid bilayer. So it is a double layer. And it doesn't have things studded throughout it. It only has little nuclear pores that allow certain substances through. And it really, it's a really interesting thing because the material that's inside the nucleus cannot come in contact with the stuff outside of the nucleus, or it will be destroyed. So we have this special little quarantine, to use a word that most people are now familiar with. It is kind of set apart from everything else. Now, inside the nucleus, there's going to be a darkened spot called the nucleolus. This is going to be the site where you're going to have a lot of RNA and protein, and it is the site of ribosome production. Now, going back to one of the previous videos, we talked about ribosomes were the site of protein production, protein synthesis, we'll say. And so we're going to see that inside the nucleus, we have this stuff called chromatin, which is the DNA. Now, most people think of the chromosomes, which are going to have the DNA in their familiar little X shape, and these are called chromosomes, but they're only in this shape when the cell is going through mitosis. Most of the time, this area that we call chromosomes here, which again is only referring to it when it's in this shape, is found in normal cell life as a long strand. And again, it's organized. I'm not trying to make it, make light of it all twisted around. It is organized, but it's long, thin strands, and we call that chromatin. So chromatin is chromosomes when they are not all coalesced into that chromosome structure that we're familiar with when it's going through mitosis. But we're going to learn that the chromatin, is all about the information for protein synthesis and how to make proteins, or that's a big part of it, and it's what we know of it. And so this area has the recipe on how to make proteins, and then the nucleolus is where we make the kitchen. All right, the ribosome protein synthesis. The ribosomes are the kitchen where proteins are made. So we've got the recipe in the form of chromatin inside the nucleus, and the area that helps us make kitchens to make the proteins called the nucleolus. So when we look at this little picture of it, again, this is a biphospholipid bilayer, so it's 2 layers thick. We've got these nuclear pores that allow certain things to go out. These little strands all through here are the chromatin, and this little dark ball that's inside of it, that is the nucleolus.